Hello and welcome. I'm Sue Ann with Right Mix for Business, and you're watching The Marketing Mirror because everything you do reflects your business and brand. And you'll find that out more and more as you do business. I remember when I started in business, I was so afraid to even say that I owned a business because I was so afraid that, oh my gosh, am I going to succeed? Should I be saying anything? I didn't really realize that talking about your business is one of the biggest ways that you can promote your business and gain friends and customers, community, and fans by actually talking about it out loud. But as a young girl starting a business many, many, many moons ago, I was really afraid to talk about anything about my business. So that's a huge lesson for everyone when you're trying to get something started. The more that you can talk about it, the more that you can feel good about it, and the more that you remember that everything you do does reflect your business and brand, then you'll start to want to talk about it. And I know it's easier to talk about your business when you're happy and excited about it. And I know for me, I was so busy working in the business and on the business, I wasn't really reaching out beyond the business to build that customer base early on. I was a little bit shy about it and really concentrating just on operations. So things have changed a lot, and there wasn't any digital presence back then when I started as there is today. So today, part of marketing is digitally inclined. But I really wanted to come to you today to talk to you about, like, kind of just like me to you, like talking to you directly from the heart. And I wanted to kind of go over where we've come so far with what I've put together for you so far this year in videos, because I want you to know why the videos that I chose to do so far this year are important. They're important for you, they're important for business, and there is a rhyme and reason to the message that I'm trying to bring to you. But if you just look at the video library and look from topic to topic, maybe you're not connecting the dots. Maybe you're not making the match, the stepping stones, and seeing the parts from here to here to here that I'm giving you, that all are part of creating good business, good marketing, and growing and learning as you go. So the first thing that I talked about on a video this year was creativity. And I had my friend and colleague and client Lee Love on to talk about creativity in business because, look, for me, I feel like creativity in business is one of the most important things. I think that when you adopt a creative mindset, that creative mindset is something that will help you stand out in business. And I know it always was that way for me. I did things differently than the other people in the industry. I don't want to say the competition because I never looked at it competitively. I still don't look at business competitively. I think there's room for everybody, and everybody has a spot and a special place in the business world. And even your so-called competition could actually be collaborators and friends. And I found that early on in business, because when you work with other businesses in the business, you can share things, you can share equipment with each other, you can share, there's just so many things that collaborating does, and a lot of people don't realize that early on. But creativity is also about learning how to bring that collaborative effort to something bigger than yourself, allowing that creativity to expand by hearing other people's ideas and bringing them in to offer ideas and to offer their insight. Often we forget, especially as business owners, that the people who really know the business, who are really going to be a great source of information for your business, are your frontline people, the people who are out there interacting with customers, the people who are out there selling your product or service. All those people have an effect on that, again, that reflection of who you are as a business and brand. Adopting that creative mindset, doing things a little differently than the competition, working with and not against the competition, keeping your head down and working on your business and not worrying about what everybody else is doing, get you a lot further. Not only will you stand out in your industry for that creative mindset and be a little bit known for being different, but you'll also connect emotionally with humans, because humans like having a hand in things and being involved in creating. So you bring originality to your projects for not only your business, but also for your client's business. And, when you're the ideas person, when you're offering something new and innovative, when you're giving people a thought or an angle that they haven't thought about before, that creativity, that insight, those ideas are so valuable and make you stand out again against a competitor who's not going to take that creative approach, looking at things uniquely for each client and those kind of things. So again, I really love creativity in business. I believe that creativity and business go hand in hand. I don't believe that you're either business minded or creative. I think that the perfect business is a blend of both. And I think, again, making your mark, standing out, is about being curious and creative. And look, when you're curious, you're researching, you want to understand, you dig deeper, and your customers benefit from the fact that you have the research, or you'll do the research, or that you will know more than anyone else on whatever that topic is, because you're going to take that extra step. And then you might even offer an idea, a creative spin, something that they haven't gotten and aren't going to get from other people. So these things are really important, I think, for business. So I wanted to introduce the new year with my interview with Lee, which actually took place before the end of the year, but things were a little hectic personally. And so I thought, wow, this is a great way to open the new year with a friend, a colleague, and a few people have actually said what a nice rapport Lee and I have. We do a lot of creative projects together, so he's super cool. And we can all learn about his idea about learning to see like an artist. You don't have to be an artist to be observant. Also, I went into talking about blogging tips for 2024. Blogging tips, because look, the blog right now is, and you've heard me say it before, but I'll say it again so that you really latch onto the theory. But your blog is I believe, core of your content hub. It often is the fuel that fires your social media. It's also the interactive place of your website, where people can come in and see fresh content, see what's going on new, see what you're talking about or learning about, what is, trending. It's a thought leadership opportunity for you as a business to establish trust and to offer things about your product, services, industry. These are so important for people to see and understand about you and your business, and to understand and help them to feel like they want to do business with you. They're getting a lot of this stuff looking at your website and your blog to find out and learn about you, your products and services. Now, we all know that in the digital age, people are looking up businesses and doing business with businesses who they can research digitally. Even if you're local, even if you're a small business, people are still, they're not going to the yellow pages. They're not looking in the newspaper this week for, what's going on in town or what your deal is on your lunch special today. They're looking at things digitally. And that blog is the content hub, the activity center, the place that keeps your SEO moving along, because it's new and fresh and refreshed content. And it's so important that people see who you are, what you stand for, what you're about. You can talk about things related to your services and products without talking about your products and services, and still be educating potential clients about your industry and about products and services and related services around your industry, which all, again, elevate you as a leader and a thought leader, and someone who's willing to share a lot of information. Content marketing is all about sharing information at no cost. And this helps to develop that relationship, build that trust, show that authenticity, show your expertise with people. And they get to know you, get to like you, and get to understand your business, products, and services at the same time, fueling your social media, fueling many of your advertising and other marketing campaigns, your blog is so important. It's a touch point, and it's a very important touch point. If you pay attention to people like my friend Andy Crestodina, who I consider one of the top, maybe the top guy in website and blog optimization and understanding that property, developing out and understanding that property, you will know that he will tell you your blog is not going to be a conversion item. You're not, people aren't coming on and reading stuff from your blog to convert. They're going to service pages and about you pages and products pages and those kind of contact me pages, more about us, our services, our products. So understand that if you're looking to convert sales from your blog, you're probably looking at what content marketing and what your blog's job is a little bit incorrectly. And you have to remember that connecting is the magic. Connecting is the magic, and that's what your blog property is about. It's about connecting. It's about being fully transparent, and it's about sharing and giving value upfront, no cost. Get to know me, get to understand me, get to understand my industry, my products, my services, related services. I'm going to educate you all the way around, because you know why? An educated buyer is a better buyer. If you've been in business for a while, you'll understand that that's completely 100% true, because an educated buyer knows what they're talking about. They know what they want. And they're just easier to deal with when they are educated, and you have an opportunity to do that. It used to be 7 touch points before someone reached out to you to actually interact or contact you. And now I think it's double. And I've even seen some stats that say it's as much as triple those touch points because of the overload of content, the ability for people to jump on the internet and to look things up. There's so much out there that it's really important that you do your job and you put yourself out there in front of people as well. And make sure, that you're doing it at optimal level. Paying attention to your blog is really going to be important to performing at optimal level digitally. And I do think that a blog is imperative if you have a business website. I think it's going to do a lot more for you than a static website. I mentioned SEO. I mentioned a lot of other things like interactivity. You can have commenting. Not everybody does, depending on your business, depending on your industry, depending on the size of your company, and what you do with your blog and with your website. But you do want to have at least a blog to keep that, to be that content hub for you, really. Well, I like calling it a content hub because I think that's true. So I talked about things like dump the sameness. I talked about trying new things and being innovative, because this is not your grandma's blog. This now blogging has changed, just like everything has changed digitally, and it continues to change. I'm not going to throw in there AI. I'm not going to talk about that today, but things are changing. Things are moving fast, and you have to stay on top of it. So we talked about offering mixed media in your blog, that it's not just a written blog anymore, and it certainly should never be a wall of content, of written content, of words, of text. There's a lot more to it these days. There's a lot of skills involved, but you still have to align your content to your business goals. So that was important. And you have to specify next actions that you want people to take. If they're reading your blog and there's something that is related that they should look at to that topic, you might want to guide them there. If you have a newsletter that's important for them to sign up to learn more and to hear from you, you might want to put that as your call to action. But you always want to say, what should I do next? So that you're not leaving any visitor to any page or any blog post left hanging. And it took me a long time, honestly, to think about and to start trying to have an ongoing CTA, or a CTA, more importantly, than an ongoing, a CTA specific to the post that makes sense and gives your viewers, readers, community, clients, whatever, the next step, the next place to go, because you want them to get to know you deeper. You want to guide them into what will help them next. You're not just here for this post, you're here to take them from this to this to this that you can do, all by incorporating it cleverly and with intention into your blog. I did a spaces to continue the discussion on blogging called The Future of Blogging. And I had my friend Lisa Sicard on for that episode. And the future of blogging, we decided, looks bright. But Lisa put a big emphasis on SEO. And if you're paying attention, SEO is changing and changing rapidly. How do we get found in generative language searches and generative language outputs from ChatGPT and others? How do we get to be known by the bot and not as we are now through search engine optimization? Or maybe I shouldn't say not through, but through search, but in a different way. Because as we know, we've already been thinking about and trying to optimize the ability to capitalize on voice search and on being able to be searched on your whoever you talk to, Alexa, whatever one you talk to, you want to be searchable on those things. So that's entered into the plot. Then I decided to talk to you about Castmagic. And Castmagic is a audio, video, translation, transcription, AI magic app that allows you to put in your audio and video content and pull out so many use cases from that already recorded audio or video to repurpose into a million things. So you feed it into Castmagic and it spits out your blog posts if you want. It spits out, and I say if you want because there's nothing in my blogs. My blogs are written by human right now, and I right now plan to continue to be a human written blog, a human written website. But there's a lot of other things that you can repurpose from that Castmagic AI translation, and you can have them do a LinkedIn post, a newsletter, or an email correspondence about the topic. You can really extract lessons from it. You can extract quotes from it. You can extract clips from it for shorts and those kind of things. They're working on audiograms. They're working on a lot of things besides the million things that Castmagic already does. It can give you your tweets if you want from that script. It can give you, like I said, quotes, which I really like that. That makes good social media fodder when you can pull a quote from whatever you're sharing, whether it's your podcast or your YouTube channel. If you have quotes from that to use on social to, raise awareness and interest of what's going on in that video or audio, these things can all come out of Castmagic like magic. Also gives you a bunch of titles to pick from. If you set it up that way, you can ask it to do many tasks depending on which way you're heading. People are using it to translate their meetings and coaching sessions. So they put in the audio or video of that meeting or coaching session, they spit it out, and it gives you an outline of what was covered. It talks about, the most important points that you went over. It might be able to give you questions associated with that content so that if you need to dig deeper. It'll give you, even that kind of fodder. So there's a lot you can do with the tool Castmagic. If you're interested, hit it up, try it with my affiliate link. I'd appreciate that. And also, if you need help or have questions, let me know because I like it. I'm learning more about it all the time, and I'm very willing to help out anyone who needs it. I also did a video again about Castmagic, but this time it was about redefining content creators or content creation for solopreneurs by using Castmagic. I call it redefining your content creation, because when you're small, having that little bit of Castmagic magic to illuminate that content you put in, that's your content, your original content. So you're not scraping from the internet, you're inputting what you've already created and already researched and already have added your spin to. You're putting in your work, and then it's giving you back whatever you want. and it does it so quickly that you can now have the ability to create these assets so much quicker that you can then spread yourself a little further by having these automatic the ability to have automatic, blog post information, if you choose again. But for social, I like it. I like some of the social things, and I'll also use the transcript to help write the post. That I usually write a post with each video, so I'll use the transcript to help with that. But this the second video on Castmagic was interesting because I did it in collaboration with Nikolai, who is an animated character by my friend Love, the creative guy, right? It's just so creative. It's my marketing Millie visiting with Nikolai. Watch that video with Nikolai and marketing Millie as they are at a trade show trying to discover what you need to take care of your content needs to boost your productivity and to be accurately forwarding your voice into your communications. Then I did a couple of videos to welcome you, introduce you to and invite you to join the Marketing Mirror. Inside the Marketing Mirror, a small community I'm trying now to put together called Inside the Marketing Mirror, and it's through my Buy Me a Coffee site. So I'll have a link also for that. But I'm going to tell you more when I wrap up this thing about why that's important and what is in it for you and why you're really not going to want to miss out on taking part in that. Then I did a new trailer because my old trailer had the old logo on it, the old logo design. So I wanted to update the Marketing Mirror logo design from that script to the boxy logo design with the mirror effect. So I did a new trailer. Then I met with and talked to user experience designer Philip Wallet. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right, but he's a world-class user experience design professional, and he's from the Netherlands. So some of his stories were so great because they really talked about user experience at whatever level or location. So his stories about user experience had to do with products that are unfamiliar in the US, but it just goes to show you how important and how varied that user experience will be depending on the use case. So it's really an interesting conversation. I tried to go a little bit deep with Philip on some of my questions because we want to know. And this is why I go from creativity to the importance of that blog, which will take a lot of creativity to really create a world-class multimedia blog. And then I go into this user experience conversation and discussion because user experience is how people come in and go through and find and experience what you put out there digitally. So I'm really curious about and trying to think about and improve user experience all the time. It's on my mind when I'm writing. How do you draw people in? How do you make it so that they're finding it interesting or intelligent or informative or entertaining or a combination of all? So user experience is something that has to do with how people interact with your brand. So when you have that awesome blog, what is that experience of finding your website or finding that blog post and then coming into your world? How does it work from there? How do people feel when they enter your digital domain? So that user experience question is really, really important in my opinion, and something that I think that we have to work on if we're in marketing, if we're in digital marketing, if we're doing writing projects, whether it be copywriting or whether it be blog article writing or business writing, because we want to be considering our community, our audience, our viewers, our readers. We want to be considering how people see and feel and look at the whole thing, and what kind of how hard is it for them to get from one thing, how hard is it for them to find things, how unique and clear and consistent Will they be able to experience and interact with you, your website, and your blog, that content hub? You want that all to be very smooth. And then, as Philip pointed out, you want that to roll over into the experience that people physically have with you. If you're a local business, you're having face-to-face interaction. And how does that go? And where does your customer service stop and start? We talked about how inboarding or onboarding, I guess you would call it. I'm boating now. Inboard, outboard. No, how onboarding is so important, because that's when people have already made the click. They signed up for your newsletter. They clicked to buy your product. They clicked to join your membership or your course. And now what happens to them? How do they feel? How do you make them feel? How do you bring them in and make them part of it and make them want to interact with you right off the bat? This is huge. This is important. And this is why user experience was one of the things I really was interested in talking to you about. And I think it has a huge place in content marketing, digital marketing, blog and social media marketing. Really, I think user experience, your website, your other digital properties. How do you appear when people interact and see you on your social platforms? All of this is really about user experience. And you hear people talk about an omni-channel approach, meaning they feel that same company and brand throughout, no matter what channel you're on. There's an understanding that it's you, it's your brand, and it's your voice. You're communicating consistently across all those channels so that people recognize everything as you. And you also reach new audiences on all these different platforms. But again, you can use that Castmagic repurposed content that's valuable, but can be put together in different methods, different styles, different formats, so that you can reach your people. Then I talked to you about the secret that makes your content irresistible. And what I was talking about was the Octalysis Framework, or the Octalysis Principle by Yukai Chao. So Yukai says that in order for humans to take action, they need a trigger that motivates them to actually act. So what are those human psychology, human behavioral, human motivational things that are inside each of us that we want to tap into if we're trying to get our client to participate in the education? For example, if you're selling a course, how do we tap in to get people to complete that course, to be interested in that course, to stay on that course? How do we tap in to get people to click the button to sign up for your newsletter? How do we connect on an emotional level in a way that makes people take action? And so the Octalysis framework was really very important in giving you some ideas and insights into how you can look at humans and human behavior, and what are those core drives that make people take action. And Yukai, just to review real quickly, gave us 8. That higher meaning and calling, which I talked about somewhere else already, accomplishment and reward. So we want to keep improving ourselves. We want to keep accomplishing things. We're always looking for that bigger reward or that bigger path. So accomplishment and reward is a human psychological drive in human beings. And these 8 drives, he says, exist in all of us. So it's really a matter of what each individual is more magnetized to. Like some people, higher meaning and calling is all that matters. So they don't care about accomplishment and reward, which talks to some degree about, making money and having an accomplished background or name or credentials. It higher meaning and calling kind of forgets all that and says, I have something bigger for the world. I have something that's going to impact things far beyond myself. And so that's so important. And then the accomplishment and reward does, brings you that good feeling that you're getting somewhere, that you're achieving things. And then we have empowerment and creativity. This, of course, being my favorite. So my job, asking you to come into the marketing mirror, inside the marketing mirror, my job is to empower you to create and do more for yourself by learning these things and being part of this associated with a group of professionals and myself that can, you know, help you to understand and to learn about all the things that we're learning about or already know about. And creativity means that you participate in that empowerment too, because have the opportunity to make things happen for your business by actively participating. And so there's, you know, that empowerment and creativity for some people, that ability to feel empowered and to take action and to keep creating, and it comes from their soul and their heart and their mind. This is going to be way powerful. Then there's ownership and possession, because we want things and we want to own things and we want to have, you know, the right of things. So some people have a strong core drive towards ownership and possession. Social influence and relatedness is about having friends, making friends. We are social beings. We want to have interactivity. And that's another thing with the group I'm inviting you in. I want it to be interactive. I want you to have a voice and not just be like an audience member. I want you to be part of it and have that two-way conversation, because the only way you can learn or find out if you're doing things right and wrong is to have some kind of feedback from people. And I often, as a creator who sits on my own cloud, hey, here on my own cloud, as a creator who often is, you know, working in their own cloud, that social influence and relatedness, having other people that can tell you, hey, what you're doing is great, or let me help you figure this out, or here's how people might see this or take it, and I don't know if that's what you meant. Having social influence and relatedness gives you that kind of feedback and that kind of a loop with real people. And it's really important now with marketing being the two-way conversation, the two-way street that I talk about all the time, that it is. So scarcity and impatience is the next thing, because we want things we can't have. It's that FOMO, you know, fear of missing out. Some people pay for stuff on games just to get, you know, the rewards ahead of time. They have such an impatience for things. But if you can create scarcity and patience in a person that's like, oh, I want this, I'm going to take action, there's only so many left, I've got to get it. If you can create scarcity to help motivate action, if you can help create impatience, they like it, they want to keep going, to keep taking action, that makes those really great human drivers that can help you. Also, unpredictability and curiosity. Again, people they don't like to be left without the answer. So a lot of people, you've heard in business and copywriting and so forth, about creating a loop, so that means they have to keep going to get the next spot, the next answer. Soap operas would be an olden day a good example of that, because you got to watch the next day, because they drop it off right when the music gets tense, and somebody's left looking at each other. We don't know, is she going to say yes or is she going to say no? These kind of cliffhangers are what you call open loops, and that's how you feed into unpredictability and curiosity. And those things drive people to take action, because they want to see what's next, what's the next step, what's the next answer, what are you going to disclose and open me up to next. And that's a good driver to bring people into your world. And then loss and avoidance, which again talks about fear of missing out, or avoidance and loss in the respect that, look, I've put so much time into building my whatever it is that I'm not going to quit. Let's take social media as an example. I took so much time building my whatever presence, take your pick, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. I took so long building this and creating this profile and filling up my feed and curating and all this stuff that I don't want to leave it. I have too much invested, so it's like a sunken cost thing. So loss and avoidance would be that next one. And I think you guys, Octalysis Prime and Octalysis Principle are really important to helping you understand and recognize these things, and then you can use them in your writing, in your funnel work, in your copy, in your especially persuasive copy. You can think about them in how you design courses and how you design your memberships. And this is really important to me. And I think it's something not only important to me and with what I'm creating, but important to other people who are also creating and working on their businesses and trying to get people to take action and work with them and sell to them. So I think that's really important. I also gave a shout out to my friend and colleague and client, Miss Eileen, who is super. She has a digital media weekly that I urge you to subscribe to. It's a short 1-minute video to tell you about her, but you should really subscribe to her newsletter. She's fantastic. And so thank you for everything, Miss Eileen, or Eileen Smith in the more formal way to talk about her. And make sure you sign up for her newsletter and check out her channel at Eileen Smith. Also then talked about and brought in my friend Joie Gharrity, even though I called it, highlights from PodFest 2024. And I talked about the top takeaways that she got. Not only did she talk about that, but she also shared really great detailed information on how to build your presence, building your digital footprint, and creating visibility and influence through your podcasting and video work. Joie says that if you have a podcast, you should do a video version. Why wouldn't you? It's a 2-for-1. That people want to have that human voice and that human face, and that has huge bang for your business or brand. There is so many other things that she talked about that will help you understand influence and gaining traction on your social media and through doing these extra efforts like podcasts and video or live streaming. So Joie is just a treasure of information. She's also the first exclusive content on Inside the Marketing Mirror, the membership I'm asking you to check out, because it's going to be, or I'm starting it off super, super cheap, so that you're going to be like, yeah, it's so cheap, I got to have it. It's so good, I can't miss it. And we build it together from there. So think about that. And think about, what does Joie have to drop on you, which again, everything she does gives you a load of insight and information. She's, a how-to tips kind of girl, and she's pretty straightforward and helpful. So I think you'll enjoy that interview. Then I talked to Greg Wasserman. He's also from Castmagic. He's the community partnership relationship guy. And he does a really big job with meeting with almost, well, if you buy the software and you want to learn about it, if you, click the button when you get it to have an onboarding call, you're going to run into Greg. You're going to learn a lot right off the bat. So Greg's awesome. And I wanted to talk to him, but I didn't want to talk to him about Castmagic because, hey, I already covered Castmagic and some of the beauty of the tool and the magic of using it to help you with productivity, with bringing your voice and not an AI generated answer or information, but rather your unique content. That's what it's all based on. So there's a lot of things we love about Castmagic, of course, but I was more interested in learning about the marketing that they do as a not only small business, but also a startup, and also a startup in the new AI space, which makes them have kind of 2 or 3 different things that might impact and be things to look at about who they are and what they do. But again, I wanted to find out, what from a marketing standpoint could we learn about starting and promoting and finding a way to have that key, beautiful relationship interaction, community building like Greg works on. And I think that was a really good interview because Greg leaves you so much powerful information on that interview. So again, that's about content and content repurposing. So it fits in with what I was talking about with Joie, with your podcast and with your video work. And then this is a way to take that work and repurpose it. This is a way to take that work and you make it the fuel that flames those social media fires all over the place and give you that omni-channel approach, because it can be construed or reconstructed in so many ways to, represent all those areas for you. So it was really an interesting conversation to find out about what Castmagic was doing, why they did it, what they were thinking about, and what all ultimately what we discovered is that Castmagic is in itself a huge tool for them growing their own company, which was really kind of interesting because that fell into the conversation almost by accident. And finally, if you missed me interviewing Stephanie Garcia live, yes, live, oh my gosh, I did a live streaming interview with Stephanie. It was fantastic because I, as you may have heard 100 times, don't really particularly love being on video, but I love sharing content and sharing information and talking about all the stuff marketing, all the stuff blogging, all the stuff content, and all the stuff digital and digital marketing. Stephanie just published a book called The Ultimate Guide to Influencer Marketing, and she gives you all the stuff, how to do it, what the campaign looks like, what a content brief looks like, or a campaign brief looks like. She gives you templates for the emails, templates for so many things. It has a glossary of terms. This book is really, really comprehensive and really, really good. It looks at both sides of the table and reminds us that we're all human. So our influencers are human, our business people are human. And when you put that human spin on things, then you get a much better designed and created and collaborative effort where both you and your influencer are on board, moving in the same direction, helping each other out, and it's all hunky-dory. And that's really what you want. And speaking of really well put together and covering everything, if you haven't watched the Canva production from their event this week, I think it was on Thursday, the 23rd. If you haven't watched the Canva presentation about what they're spinning out next with Canva, you really should. It was a first class presentation. It's so creative because they're, a creative company and they offer a creative service. And so, of course, they're I think it's annual now. I'm not sure. I know I caught it last year and this year when they announced their big I guess what's going on at Canva, and things are going on. I already signed in with the magic button, which they're only allowing the first they're allowing the first million people that want to pre-test what's coming out. And I hopped right on it because I've been using Canva since 2015 and I love Canva. I use it for many things. I think I could use it for many more things if I took a little more time and worked on it some more. And with what it's doing now, with bringing in AI and these new departments that it's bringing in, like it's bringing you an HR packet, it's bringing you an onboarding template gift, it's bringing you stuff that you can do with their new partner Affinity, which is a photo editing software that I'm familiar with, and it's going to be kind of collaborating inside of or as part of Canva. So things are moving, hopping, but the professionalism, the creativity, the fun, the excitement that they built around their annual meeting or yearly event to announce what's going on at Canva was really pretty inspiring this year and very well done. So if you're a Canva user, go check that out. It's on the Canva YouTube channel. And also check out Stephanie's book, The Ultimate Guide to Influencer Marketing. I'm telling you, it's going to be dog-eared, and you're going to have like 1,000 little sticky notes in it to go to different pages because they really lay out everything need to know. Also, they even give you the pitfalls of what to avoid or what to look for. They give you the rates that you should be thinking about, depending on what level or type of influencer you are, or what you should be spending as a business who needs to cover an influencer. And, again, depending on the kind of influencer, the kind of business, the kind of project, and the fact that these business sponsorships and affiliates and brand deals and collaborations and all of the stuff that's part of influencer marketing is also right now pretty malleable. So you could get a lot of ideas and really make a unique package that represents you or represents the way that it would work for you, looking at all the elements of the big full picture. So I highly recommend that you grab The Ultimate Guide to Influencer Marketing with Stephanie Garcia and Eric Buteau. That wraps up my first half of the year video review, I guess this was, and I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you were able to catch some of those videos, and if you weren't, please feel free to go back and check them all out. And also, I would love if you would consider joining inside the Marketing Mirror via my Buy Me a Coffee website. And it's a private membership starting so small as far as investment, so small as far as time and effort on your part, and hopefully so huge, so big for what it will offer you in return. Why don't you try it out? See what we can do. I'd really appreciate it. And I appreciate your time today and checking out my review and the stepping stones of, hopefully how we can go from creativity to trends. Oh, I think that's one of the videos I didn't mention. I also did a video on trends for 2024, sort of my prediction video. And as I've been saying in Ross Brand's book that I'm quoted in, I think this was the fourth year that I was invited to give my digital expertise and talk to people through the book about digital content creation and live streaming and so forth, is that I want to keep in mind, and I think you need to keep in mind, I think we all need to keep in mind that if you're human centric, if you're heart centered business as I am, you should still be more than viable. And having conversations with colleagues and friends, and you hopefully through the Inside the Marketing Mirror, is just going to help to elevate all of us. We rise together. I hope that you may consider stopping in and interacting with me and with the group and with the exclusive content that I'm collecting. And I'm also going to bring in special guests and things like that along the way. If you have specific topics that you're struggling with, we can work on those. It's going to be very interactive, very two-way, very much you are invited to participate. Like I said, it's not about watching, it's about participating and helping each other. And I know I've helped many people, so I think you could enjoy it too. I hope you'll try it out. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time. I'm Sue Ann with Right Mix for Business. You've been watching The Marketing Mirror, and this is my half a year wrap up to tell you where things are and why I chose those videos that I chose. But that doesn't mean I don't have so many great, cool things coming up and in store for you starting soon. So stay tuned, subscribe to the YouTube channel too, if you would like, and jump on that Buy Me a Coffee membership inside the Marketing Mirror. So it's buymeacoffee.com/the Marketing Mirror /membership, or just buymeacoffee.com/the Marketing Mirror. And you can catch up with me for some support on my end and a little support on your end. And it'll just be a great, big, cool, and happy thing. Thanks for paying attention. Thanks for being here. See you next time. Take care.